Welcome to the Phantom Zone.
I try to join the X-Men, but I think they're maybe racist. Just because I'm human, they don't want my help. It seems it doesn't really matter if your superpowers firing through the belt. I tried to join the Justice League, but Batman was a douche to me. And Black Canary wouldn't tell me hi. And Plastic Man just threw a middle finger that was 30 stories high. I got a message from the great Avengers.
Hello, welcome to And Now Comics. I'm Luke Gonzalez, joined by the pair of Johns.
Hello.
Hey man, I'm just saying that if people didn't want the coronavirus, just don't drink Corona.
Boo.
Boo. And Ryan is here as well.
It also pairs well with Lyme disease.
Ah!
I hate the both of you so much.
That's so good.
All right, so this is the last episode of And Now Comics. We're done. We're canceled.
Yeah. Now, we're as canceled as a Supergirl book. Oh, segues.
Ooh, good job.
Yeah, this book is canceled. I feel like I'm one of the only one of us that reads kind of DC like currently, and I have not read any of her books.
It seems like a shame because Jody Houser just got put onto the book, and Jody Houser seems like the kind of person you put on a team to kind of like do like a big huge push on the book. And from what it sounds like, Jody Houser was just the last arc team. And it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like if you're gonna put Jody Houser on a book, you put Jody Houser on a book for a while.
Yeah, I think like I'm not a Superman fan, and so as much as I like the show, like Supergirl is kind of like a addition to that like mythos that I'm just not super interested in.
It's funny because I'm more of a reader that'd be more willing to read a Supergirl book than I would be a Superman book. But I just kind of like, I don't know, like I just haven't felt super compelled from like a lot of DC's stuff with Supergirl that I've seen for like quite a while, and it just kind of seemed like a book on the stands.
I also feel like it. I don't know when, but I feel like they tried to do like a Batgirl of Burnside with her and like skew her younger, which doesn't help me. Like that means I'm not as much as the audience of that as well.
I was trying to think of like when was the last time I read Supergirl, and it was like the start of this series, like with Supergirl #1, because that was the one with Cyborg Superman. And I want to say Steve Orlando was writing it, and I really loved the art on it. And then the artist left, and then I just kind of fell off.
Yeah, like it's kind of strange that like a character who has her own show can't sustain a book.
I feel like that's happened in the past, though.
Yeah, I just think it says a lot to the issue with some of those like OP characters. And it's like sometimes it's hard to write compelling stories with them, and like that's what at least it feels to me. I feel like that's why they constantly like are rebooting and dicking around with Superman all the time, because what else can you do with him?
That's true.
And then when they do something with like giving him a family, they artificially age up his kid, so that's not a problem anymore.
Because and I thought like the stuff with Jonathan was super cool, and
yeah, that's why I stopped reading Superman. I was like, I like this stuff with Jonathan and Lois and them being a family, and then they got rid of him, and I'm like, well, now I don't give a shit anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, I like, and I've heard really good things about the Bendis run on Superman, but it's just like find the time to read it.
Yeah, there was good part, like since Rebirth, there were some good Superman stories, especially with like Jonathan and Lois. It just, once they changed that, and when Bendis aged him up, I was like, oh, like now the tension is gone. Like, and then the new thing, which I don't know if you guys have heard, where he has outed himself as Clark Kent.
I heard about this.
Yeah, I heard. I thought it sounded pretty cool. Like, that's actually kind of why I wanted to check it out.
Yeah, the issue they do it in is actually, like, really good. Because they do a good job of, like, his conversation with Jimmy. And then actually, my favorite part is his conversation with Perry White. And it's all in, like, silhouettes, kind of. And I think it works really well.
Just the hug. It was like very. It was.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
dang.
But I think like, oh, they have to do huge changes to that character to make compelling stories, and I think that's a problem with OP characters in general.
I feel like they do that with Batman a lot too.
Yeah,
but
well, it's because Batman's weirdly he's the Bat God, so he's OP in other ways.
Yeah, but a lot of people know his identity at this point, but like it doesn't really come up that much.
Wasn't there a whole thing where like Batman was like he knew it or something, or Batman was just happy he didn't reveal it? I thought I read somewhere about like.
Wait, he didn't know Superman's identity?
No. It's like he was happy that he wasn't the one who revealed it.
Oh yeah, they've had interest like a couple of things with Bruce and Clark, like dealing with him being like outed, and like Batman's basically like, well, does this mean like you're gonna want all of us to do this? And like that's like they're building like tension there.
Civil War.
Yeah. Well, it ties into one of the other stories, which I'll jump to because it's like the reason Superman does that is because of the stuff that happens in like the event Leviathan, which is getting one spin-off and now is getting a new one with like they're bringing back a Manhunter miniseries.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of cool. It's going to be written by Mark Andreyko and art by Renato Gaitis. And what's kind of cool about this is that there was like a really popular Manhunter Kate Spencer series in the mid 2000s, and it was also written by Mark Andreyko, who I feel like ever since their run on Manhunter ended, they just get kind of just paired up with like the worst books. So like hopefully Mark Andreyko like writing Kate Spencer again kind of just is like a shot in the arm to like kind of get them to be back to where they're good again.
Yeah, it's funny. Before this book, I was like, who the hell is this character? And then Green Arrow mentioned something. I was like, wait a second, she was his lawyer in that his book that ended up getting canceled in the beginning of Rebirth. And then I was reading I read the Final Crisis, and she's in that, and I was like, oh shit, like did they just like not do anything with this character since like 2005?
Yep. Like no, like she was like one of the people that when they did the New 52,
She's just gone.
She was gone. It was like who cares? She's not like an established Silver Age character, so who gives a fuck?
Mm-hmm. So, and I did like how when her return was very interesting, and I do like her character as well in that the Green Arrow series. But
yeah, it's cool that she's back finally.
Strangely, we are DC heavy in news this week, so if we pop over the other one, I am surprised this has taken so long to happen, but they are going to continue the Batman the Animated Series as a comic book with Paul Dini.
Fuck yes.
I didn't even hear that. That's awesome.
Yeah, which is weird because like Batman Beyond has started off like that comic started off basically as a continuation of the cartoon.
The current Batman Beyond?
The numbering, yes. When it originally, I think like the first 2 years, it is the TV show.
I was gonna say like they did
now
like
it's like a different thing.
I was gonna say the post features end Batman Beyond was like, oh, like we're gonna make Tim Drake the Batman Beyond, and it was super stupid, and no one liked it. And I think
they basically pretend like that never happened, because also in that it was like Neo Gotham is the only city left on Earth.
Yeah,
or something dumb like that.
You could tell me like a bunch of stuff about that book, and it's like honestly, it's like because it's like who cares at that point? It's like you already like ran off like the people who would have been interested in a Batman Beyond book, because you can't even just give us a Batman Beyond book with
Terry.
With Terry, it's like no, like we got to kill Terry, and then we'll put Tim Drake in there because people love Tim Drake, and we're like, well, yeah, we do, but we don't want him to be the Batman Beyond.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like Tim Drake of that timeline. It was like current. It was like Earth 1 current comic book. Tim Drake got thrown into this future.
It got older.
Yeah, because the Tim Drake in that universe was the Joker in the movie.
Yeah. God, what a shit show. So DC's relaunching Batman: The Adventures continue was going to be called. My hope is that with Paul Dini doing it, it's like this book should feel like the TV show. It shouldn't
Mhm.
feel like an adult version of the TV show. It shouldn't feel like a mainline Batman book in the guise of the animated series. It should like every story should feel like something that could have been on Saturday morning. And that's my hope for this book.
I mean, I would feel like that would be the hope.
This one page they show looks like it is. Like, it looks goofy, like, in a way that the show did.
Yeah, the first villain I heard that was going to show up on it was the Batman Who Laughs, and that's the only reason why I bring it up.
Wait, Batman Who Laughs is going to be in this?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think they've been, like, trying... I think they know that, like, that character has, like, kind of caught on in a way. Because I can't remember what's... In, like, one of their figure series, it's, like, 3 of the animated, like, Batman the Animated characters, and then Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, I think I posted that the other day.
Yeah,
It's like if they're going to put in, like, a new Batman villain, they should just put in Professor Pig.
Calendar
I
Man.
honestly somehow think Professor Pig is a darker character.
He is.
After reading Morrison's like Omni thing, I was like, oh, because I guess he created Professor Pig,
Yes.
and his Professor Pig one. I actually do think it's not that part, but the following part, which is the Red Hood, is the only weak spot in Morrison's Batman run. I hate his like interpretation of Jason Todd, but like it is so fucking dark, Professor Pig.
Yeah, I really wish they would also bring back the Flamingo.
I feel like he came back in something, but yeah, that character's also super dark. Eats people's faces. Fucking goddamn Grant Morrison.
Num.
So we could jump to the last DC thing. Oh no, well, there's a couple of more DC things. Do we want to talk about the teaser, or do we want to stick with the comic book stuff?
I mean, there's a bat suit. It looks fine. Looks a lot
Batsuit
like Daredevil.
looks cool. The music sounds great. I'm in.
Yeah, we don't get to see a whole lot. It looks like Batman. What?
It looks like Batman. Michael Giacchino's music looks great. I have faith in this movie. That's it. We're good. We can move on to the next.
Like, what about his symbol that looks like a makeshift gun?
To be fair, I hope that's true.
To be fair, I hope it's not true.
No, here's the thing.
That sounds so dumb.
I did see the theory that it was Joe Chill's gun. Chili?
Yeah, that's what I was reading as well. Like he got the gun and he put it in his emblem.
Like,
Like the
honestly,
pieces of
if it, like, I think it's super stupid, and if it's true, it's like I'm just gonna be like, whatever. Like, do what you want, I guess.
And I hope that symbol in the middle kind of comes out like a batarang. You could throw it because it looks detachable.
I don't know. We've seen so little. Like that's a very prototype suit. I think. I don't think that's.
I like this dude. He probably has other suit changes as well.
Yeah, I like the cowl. I like the I don't know, like the collar, and I think the chin looks good, which is interesting. I also like that you cannot see his eyes really, but I was hoping that I guess you can see his eyes. I was hoping that they would put like the white lenses in because that's something that they haven't done really with any of the suits. But that's just me.
Well, it might not be finished, so we'll see. But let's go to the next one.
I would just want to jump to the other 2 DC stories. First, I want to say, like, John, you're not the only person who is a little up in arms about the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy thing, which I did read that issue, and it's so fucking dumb. Like, what the story is so dumb, and then what happens is so dumb.
Yeah, it's just I don't get it. Like,
And they basically
it's like if you
Ivy out of like Harley, basically.
It's like if they want to break up Harley and Ivy, and they want Ivy to go into a different direction, fine, whatever. That's DC. It's their characters. They can do whatever they want. But it's like you're gonna like have like this big heartfelt moment between Ivy and Harley, and them like basically saying goodbye to one another. And Poison Ivy kisses her on the forehead and then goes. It's like, come on. It's like I've seen harem anime have a better love payoff.
Well,
than,
the
like,
whole thing is, like, I feel like the part of it that you're missing, which I think is also just as bad, is the reason why all this is happening is because of the Year of the Villain thing. Ivy was messed up from the Heroes in Crisis stuff, which ties into our next story. But like, so Lex Luthor gives her a thing that's going to fix her, but she ends up like breaking into a bunch of different pieces, and they don't realize that. And so the Ivy Harley's been running around with isn't Ivy Prime. It's like an aspect of her, and that is why Ivy Prime is pissed at Harley and is trying to kill her because she didn't know it wasn't her. So the Ivy that even kisses her on the forehead isn't actually Ivy. It's like a part of her brain.
God, I hate this.
Yes, I know. That's why I was like reading it. I was like, this is
like, what?
I was like, this is so stupid. But yeah, there's, I don't know. I think it was really dumb. And I read it after you talked about it last week and I hated it. And to go back to Heroes in Crisis. So I have actually read all of Flash Forward up to this point, which is 6.
Yeah, do you hate yourself?
I don't mind it. I think it's an interesting, I'm like, oh, well, I think they do a good job of addressing what they did to Wally. And Flash Forward.
Oh, okay.
So there's been 6 issues, and it's basically been like the redemption of Wally West. And what they basically reveal with this character I've never heard of before, this, I can't remember his name. It's like, I want to say like Hugo Argonaut, but I know that's not it, but it's something really stupid. He's not a monitor, but he's basically a monitor. And he's like, you need to fix, like, there's like the dark multiverse stuff. And what's revealed is that the reason why all this is happening is the dark multiverse created by Wally West is the thing destroying it because of his connection to the Speed Force. Instead of it being destroyed like it should be, it keeps repairing itself. And that is where his son and daughter are trapped. So he gets on the Mobius chair to save the multiverse. His kids get sent back to Earth. And once he gets on it, he gets all of the knowledge. But somehow, since Dr. Manhattan had killed Metron in Doomsday Clock, he has affected the Mobius chair. So Wally West is now the inheritor of the Speed Force, the Mobius chair, and Dr. Manhattan's abilities.
God, this was stupid. I didn't see a little bit of this.
Couldn't they have just brought Wally West back and just made him a second speedster and just had him just be Wally West?
That's all.
No, that's not allowed.
Well, my favorite part is like they started screwing with Wally West like a while ago because I can't remember if it was in Titans or Teen Titans. Damian, there's like a time travel element with Deathstroke, and Damian Wayne hits Wally in the chest in the past. It like fucks up his heart, and that's what started his like jacked up powers. I don't know. It's just so fucking goofy. But it's like super vague. The only part that was like weird is like at the end, the twins are dropped off with the mom, and all of a sudden, because they're there, she remembers everything.
That sounds stupid.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but like, yeah, the ending image of the book is the one that's in the link, where it's like him on the chair. So like as he's talking, his like boxes turn from him, like his thought boxes turn from like what Wally had been into what Dr. Manhattans are in like the Watchmen and the Doomsday Clock. So they go from like being kind of white to being like that blue thing. And so now he has the knowledge of all of the universe as well as the power to do something about it.
So nothing is what you're getting at. He's just gonna
Yes.
sit in that chair and do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, so like Metron.
Yes. Well, actually, I guess he has the point is that he has the power. So like one of the things they're showing is like a glimpse at the multiverse. And so there's like the OG New Teen Titans. You have like 60s Batman and Robin. It looks like New 52 Justice League, and then a bunch of different Supermen, and then the Batman Who Laughs. So I don't know if this is like their way to fix the multiverse, or maybe start a new crisis.
A new reboot. There's gonna be another new 52.
Oh,
Just
God.
wipe everything.
It's new. What's 52 times 2? Because it's going to be new whatever that is.
New 104.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's jump to like some of the other stuff. So they're dropping some hints on Netflix or Twitter. Netflix is for Umbrella Academy season 2.
I'm ready.
So
Yeah.
I won't be surprised if it's coming by like this summer.
Yeah, I
latest.
feel like they're very quick. Like when they start announcements, that means like stuff is already kind of close to done.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like I won't be surprised if it's like late spring, early summer. We're gonna get this.
But it is interesting because they're basically past all the books already, aren't they? Well, they diverged, but like,
So I mean, season 1 is basically like a mishmash of Apocalypse Suite and Dallas, but I don't like
and the
I
violin.
yeah, that's a part of the Apocalypse Suite.
Okay,
And Dallas. But like where they're at the end of season 1, and then basically the adaptation of Hotel Oblivion, it's like so completely different that like that's the only reason why like I'm any kind of like interested in this. Is that I like to just see like what they do with the property on their own and just do their own story. Because it's like I like them trying to adapt something like half-assedly like was not my thing. But it's like if they want to try and do their own thing, I'd be open for that.
well, I think they did a lot of like. I feel like they took key elements from the books, and that's what they, and then like did a lot of their own thing in season 1. And I liked season 1. I know you did not. I'm like the hot take person on this, where I like the show more than the book.
I haven't read the book yet, but I did like the show a lot.
They're so different tonally. Like they're almost like there are plot points that are similar, but tonally they're like not even close. The book is much more like manic and funny,
And I like that.
yeah. Well, the show is like more like toned down, serious. Kind of like I think like the book kind of jumps like I don't want to say like it rushes through plot points, but like it doesn't take any time. Like it doesn't wait around and let things build as much as the show
filler. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think like what happens with like the violin thing works so much better in the show because of the slow burn of it.
But I think like also what they do with Spaceman like blows mega chunks. Like yeah. Like because it's like they build up like it's like the whole entire thing was like them building up with their father not being trustworthy, and then like when it comes time to like pull the trigger on, it's like, well, like who do you believe, like your father or Vanya? And it's like, oh, we're not gonna trust Vanya, we're gonna trust our lying, deceitful father, and it makes no sense because it's like the way they've been building up to that point. It's like why in what world would they like?
Well, that's except for the one character, the one what's her name? Rumored is the one that sides with Vanya, which is why she does what she does.
Yeah, I just
Speaking of Netflix, they announced that The Kingdom was coming out the second season. I think it's next month in the middle.
what's
Not
the
sure.
Kingdom?
It was like a feudal like Asian piece, but they just threw in zombies, which is like really brutal and good. I'm trying to think of a good description. Think of
Oh, it's like it's like a foreign show.
not really because it is dubbed, but I'll have to send you guys a link because it looks really good. Like season 1 was really good.
It's a South Korean show that they brought over to Netflix. Yeah, it's it's Netflix's series, but it's like an original Korean series.
Yeah, it's really dark.
Oh, it's only 6 episodes?
Yeah, but they're like long. They're like an hour long.
Also of Netflix, I guess I Am Not Okay With This, the graphic novel, that's becoming a show coming out this month, which looks kind of cool, actually.
The what?
The what? I have not heard of this.
Okay, so it's this show called I can't find a proper plot description, but it's called I Am Not Okay With This. It's got 2 of the kids from It. It's about
I'm sorry to cut
this
you off.
teenager having this like, she's navigating like being the social awkward loner, navigating like love relationships and friendships and her sexuality and her family, and she also gets superpowers.
Yeah, from the trailer, it looks like Carrie, but more into it, which looks really good.
Yeah, if anyone's ever seen The End of the Fucking World, I believe is the name of it, but fucking is bleeped out, it's from that same creator.
Okay. I have not watched a show. So
End of the Fucking World was about the guy who was like a sociopath.
No. That's something else.
No, that's right. He was also a sociopath in that show.
No, isn't End of the Fucking World? Isn't that the one about like the kid? Like,
Yeah, the
and,
kid's
like,
a
zombie?
the kid's a sociopath, and like he runs off with this girl because he wants to kill her, but he like has feelings for her.
Yeah, I remember that. I like wanted to check out that show. I totally forgot about it.
Oh, I guess
Season
Netflix
1 was
is-
okay, but like season 2 was like
Also
Uh,
based on a graphic novel from the exact same writer as I Am Not Okay With This. So he's a big fan of that like kind of really dark comedy / drama.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I do want to talk about, because I've read one of these that Dark Horse has done, which is they're adapting the original Predator screenplay into a comic book. I read the Alien 3 comic book adaptation, like William Gibson's, and I fucking love that. And I think it is a amazing idea to do, is to take these like undone or revised scripts and put them into comic book form.
I feel like I'm surprised that like DC hasn't done that yet as like Elseworld stories.
I think that they don't, because then it's more fodder to shit on the movies they have actually made.
Okay. Well, that's more on Warner Brothers' fault, not DC's
Yeah,
fault.
but I think the thing is, like, these are like, what, Predator was what, like 1984?
85. No, it was 87, excuse me.
Oh, 87? Okay.
Could you imagine like Marvel also doing it and doing it with like all their like, here's like this unused like Spider-Man script from canon where we have Doc Ock and his arms are called Waldos.
Oh my God.
That'd be amazing.
Or we just take the script of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark and make it a comic book. Version 1, not 2, version 1.
Yeah,
Let's
if you
kill
like
off
that
Mary
stuff,
Jane in the
the
opening
one-
act.
that one
Yeah.
podcast, Best Movies Never Made, did 4 parts on Spider-Man movies never made, and that James Cameron one sounds so bad.
Can I like also say, okay, so like they bring up like actually like a really good point in that episode where Cameron had like a lazy season and he like would write like all these movies
Oh
all
my
at
God.
once, and that's like why like you would have like these elements of each film kind of show up in another film, and it's like kind of listening to his description, I was like, oh, like this seems like a movie he also wrote at the same time he wrote True Lies.
Yeah.
But I think that podcast is cool. My only like main gripe with it is where it's like I'm like, oh, it's like 4 episodes about all the different like Spider-Mans they've tried to make, but instead it's like here are like 2 different Spider-Mans, and we're just going to take a really long time to kind of talk about all of them. And I'm like, man, I feel like this 4 episodes could have honestly been 2.
Oh, there's definitely that, because they did that. That's only the only other one they've done that with, which actually just happened recently, was they did that with the Mario movie, and they went through like 3 or 4 different scripts, and some of them I understand why they stay long on them, because one of the Mario scripts, Luigi is, because it was written by the same guy who did Rain Man, and basically it's Rain Man, but they're Mario and Luigi is his younger brother. And I'm like, all right, I understand sticking a whole episode on that, because that needs to be like aired out.
Track
yeah.
down that script and we could do a reading. That'd be terrible.
Oh man. Well, they don't. I don't know if they. The only one they had a script for was like the one that was before the one that was actually made, which was fun listening to that as I'm listening to what do you call it, Console Wars, because that's like a small part of Console Wars is like that Super Mario movie being a piece of shit.
Excuse you. That is a fun movie.
It's an insane thing that I don't understand how anybody let that thing come into existence.
You know what? I don't either, and God bless them, because it's a silly fucking ride, and I love it.
Yeah.
The
But
only thing that would have made that movie better if they did that rap song that they did in the beginning of the Mario show.
Oh,
Do the Mario?
Yeah.
I think it's just like funny that at the end of the day, we have 0 good Nintendo films, and we we have 1 good Sega
Sonic?
film. And so
no,
I guess
Pokemon. You don't think Pokemon is good?
Detective Pikachu was good.
Yeah,
it was. I forgot about that.
yeah, because it's so good that you forget that it
Basically, my punchline was going to be that I guess Sega does, but Nintendo don't.
Yeah. Oh man. But to get back to this book, so it's a 5-part mini-series beginning this summer. So it is based on the Alien that I guess Jean-Claude Van Damme was going to play.
Yep.
Yes.
Which I didn't know that, but this design is very interesting.
I hate
It's
it.
like
Here's
it's like
the thing.
lizard and bug-like.
Here's the thing about Jean-Claude Van Damme, though. Most of the decisions he made in the 80s and 90s were based off cocaine.
I was gonna say we're cocaine fueled.
It
It was about being on cocaine and getting more cocaine. That's probably why he wanted to do this film, because it was going to be in Colombia where they filmed it.
As long as we near a cartel.
I guess that like it looks like Creature the Black Lagoon-ish.
Like, this monster design looks like Killer Croc. It looks like
it looks like a big gremlin.
Yeah.
No. You know who it looks like? Do you remember Land of the Lost? It looks like a Sleazak.
The Sleazaks.
So, but that's what I'm getting at. It's like we're naming like all these things. Like, yeah, it's like this looks like this, or it looks like that. It's like the Predator, like that we got, looks like nothing else.
Oh, it looks like a vagina with teeth, but yes.
But I mean, it's like it looks like no other creature design that came before.
Oh,
and
no,
that's why. And that's why that Predator design is so good. So, like, when I see, like, the original screenplay for the Predator, I'm like, oh, with a really generic-looking monster design? And I'm like, okay, you do you guys. Like, I imagine this is going to be, like, really interesting as, like, a what could have been kind of piece in the way that the Alien 3 one was. But I think, like,
well, the Alien 3 one is more like, oh, this was a better script. Like,
yeah, and exactly. And I think like the original Alien 3 script is like way more interesting and kind of like it's like a huge kind of like what if. While like I don't know if like so many people really were clamoring for like what was the original take for Predator.
Well, I think it's just like they did that one. It worked really well. So what else do we have?
Yeah.
Because they also did, which I did not know, they did one for the Alien, the original screenplay, and I did not know that, and I kind of want to read that. Which is funny, because like I want to Google and see if they like had actually built this thing, and the image that comes up looks nothing like this creature. It looks actually way worse, because it looks more like an insect thing. I'll just throw it in here.
Again, I won't be surprised. I don't hate it. It's not the best design, but I don't hate it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it looks like very generic Alien thing. Here's like a different shot of it.
Oh, that looks bad.
It looks not good, like at all.
Oh, okay. Now that I see it in action, no, never. The design we got was better.
Yeah, well, the design we got, like, it's all about like the head. Well,
You know what
again,
it looks? It looks like the space jockey.
Well, that makes sense in many ways. Oh man, there's like a couple other. Here's like another thing. Like I guess this is like a miniature. The one on the part on the right. Oh god. Okay, apparently there's like a lot of images of this, so they built this thing and they must have been like, this looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm interested to see like what the difference is in the script, like the actual script part of it.
Yeah, the story.
Yeah, because I wonder if like all that stuff about it being like an actual like hunter and like collecting trophies was still there, or if they like flushed that stuff out in subsequent like scripts. But I think we could jump to our last story before we go to our thing, which is the trailer drop for the new My Hero Academia movie.
The English dub trailer dropped, to be
Yes.
more specific. And yeah, so the new one's coming out next week. Here at this point is coming out next Wednesday. It starts playing in theaters for dub and sub. Anyone else here read or watch My Hero Academia?
I do.
I do.
Ryan?
I have to catch up. I'm far behind.
Okay, so apparently the movie at least, is going to take place far past even where the manga's at right now.
Yes, I can definitely know that because there's like a character in the trailer that is in the manga. And I'm like, oh, I can't remember his name. It's the one with the angel wings. Hawks.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Yes.
Hawks.
I think it looks dope though. I can't wait. This looks fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't like the first movie at all.
Well, the first movie's like bad anime trash. This looks like much better.
I kind of really love the first movie. I got to be honest.
I just hated that most of the crew were like kind of gone, and it was like they introduced like it's just like it's honestly like a problem I have with all like anime film adaptations where
It was
it's
a
like
Deku now.
where we introduce like a bunch of movie only characters who will
No,
never show up again.
It's the Dragon Ball Z problem.
Except for like the Dragon Ball Z problem is a thing that doesn't exist anymore because the two out of three of those super films are like pretty good.
Oh well, yeah. The super films are what turned into Super, but they're not.
Yeah.
The films aren't canon. The only one that's canon is Brawly, which is fucking amazing. But they redid it. The new Brawly is amazing.
You call
Battle of the
Brawly
Gods
or
was canon.
Broly,
Wasn't it?
Brawly.
Battle of the Gods
Broly.
was so good.
Battle
Battle
of the Gods was really
great.
good, but
Broly was amazing.
Broly was amazing.
But yeah,
Broly
I
was good.
do agree with you. I mean, I still think the first movie was fun in its own right, but I do like that everyone is now in on the action this time around, including like their classmates.
Well, it actually seems like that's part of the premise is that like they're there to train on this island, like their class, and there's no adults, there's no like pro heroes, so we won't really see any of them taking charge, which is something we haven't even seen in the show yet, like even in the manga, like we haven't seen any of that yet.
Which I'm kind of excited to see how they react to a situation with everything that will happen, everything that's happened, and how that happens on their own. I'm trying to get more.
Yeah, and it seems like from what the description says is like one of the people with powers is connected to somebody else.
Probably All Might.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be something silly like All Might's brother or something.
Ugh.
God.
God.
I really hope that. You know what? If that happens, I'm gonna be so mad at myself for saying it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like there's like an image of the guy using his ability, and it doesn't look like All Might though.
It's in the trailer. Like you can see in the link. They have the link to the trailer, and okay, so it's Nine, Slice, and Katsuma are 3 characters I'm getting right here.
Yeah, because one guy uses like robe stuff. Yeah, because this guy's like controlling weather and stuff. It looks like. I don't know. It's interesting. I will definitely watch it, especially since it's coming out so soon.
It's going to be interesting because I know the last movie did a lot of money here in the States. I think it was number 10 on the top 10 like highest grossing domestic anime films. Like it beat a Miyazaki film.
I mean, that's like
I think that speaks to the show's popularity.
I think
Yeah,
it speaks to the show's popularity, but also it speaks to the distribution for like a lot of these films being a lot better in recent years than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like now Funimation Films is getting the backing for it and everything.
Well, yeah, and it's fun because Funimation, I feel like, is not even like the best at promoting like their stuff. Like G-Kids is doing like an incredible job of like getting these films into theaters for a considerable amount of time. Like that's why like Promare did so well last year.
Well, I also think it helps that like I know Hulu has a bunch of stuff. Hulu has My Hero on there. Like I think like next day.
Yeah, but Funimation has a day of.
Yeah, but I mean, like, so many people have Hulu that, like, I think it helps it reach a wider audience. Like, I see when I'm in, like, costumes and stuff, so many kids are wearing My Hero stuff. It's crazy.
Oh, that warms my heart.
Hero. Well, yeah, My Hero Academia is, like, the second biggest manga in the world.
Yeah, I see it more than I see, like, maybe DC stuff. I think Marvel stuff I still see, like, a lot of.
That actually warms my heart a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
like, I see it as much. I see it like I think it's like Minecraft, then Marvel, then My Hero, and then like DC stuff. I see.
Yeah, if only comic book stores would capitalize on the popularity of manga.
Some do. Mine has manga in it. Not a lot.
Not as good as they could be.
Yeah.
No, it could be better.
Like a lot of comic book stores, they'll pick up Shonen Jump, Attack on Titan, and then like whatever like kind of big random series that's out at the moment. And like that's their manga section in almost like most comic book stores, and I feel like a lot of these stores can get like real growth of customers if they had like a really good, robust, dedicated manga section.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you know what I'm realizing, and this is something I'm looking at the poster now. Almost every male character has crazy hair except for the protagonist.
Well,
the protagonist has crazy hair.
They address that. in one of like in the backstory of one of the characters, like he's doing that to his hair on purpose. I can't remember the one who can
Kirishima.
Yeah, he like because he has black hair and he's like doing stuff to his hair on purpose.
Okay, so that's fair.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with like that they're creating like persona, like superhero personas.
Okay, so it's a little more justified than say like,
yeah,
my name's Yugi and I'm gonna play card games and here's my hair.
Yeah, because I think of like some of the female characters, it's like, well, one's like a bug girl, one's invisible, so like they can't really do too much with them, and then like the other ones, like it doesn't really fit into their powers set to do stuff with their hair. I'm trying to remember because it's like the one who can make stuff, she just has hers tied up in a ponytail so it doesn't get in her way, and then Gravity and Frog Girl don't really do anything with their hair either. But they're all like,
well, no, Suyu's hair is also a bow.
oh yeah, but I mean, like there are adult female characters that have crazy ass shit with their hair though. And also like the third year girl has like crazy ass shit with her hair too.
Yeah, I'm making the joke of like the protagonist always seems to have the craziest hair. That's how you know it's the good guy. But Deku never seemed to have like, okay, besides it being green, it never seemed to be like that insane.
Yeah, my only problem with his character design is like, which is why I think it's hilarious, is like the mask they just they have for him, he never wears because it's so fucking bad. Which you probably don't even remember that he has a mask for his super suit because he never wears it.
Oh, you know what? They've like I remember it used to be the rabbit-looking one, and then he modified it.
It's still that. It's like a rabbit thing with a goofy-looking smile on it, and I think he's worn it like twice because it looks terrible.
It does look,
but it's supposed to look bad, I think. So like that's why he like never wears it.
But yeah, I'm going to see this the Saturday after it comes out, so that's the 29th. I'm very excited. I was gonna say what we were doing after Ultimates, but I can wait.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of which, let us jump into this. So we covered the first half of the series last week, so we're going to see how far we get into this week. But John, did you want to give, since you weren't here last week, some quick thoughts on what you thought of the first 6?
Yeah, so it started strong. Like it started like I was watching. Okay. Hold on there, Siler. Hold on.
no, because I think that's like what we all said.
Yeah, it starts off strong. I had the same feeling going in. I'm like, okay, they do something a little differently. Like the whole Bucky's dating his former fiance was like, okay, I like that. That's different. They had just the different origins. I hate the Iron Man suit. I think it looks stupid. I just think it looks dumb. It's a terrible design. I like the fact that Betty is a PR person because the only exposure I had to the Ultimates comic was the animated movie before even the live action movies came out. So
yeah, it's, they do a better job of like, I know that better is not the right word. They purposely kind of make everybody way closer together because Betty jumps out more in these next couple of issues. But
the pop culture stuff is weird, hilariously dated, but weird.
Oh yeah, they whiff so much on who's gonna have staying power.
It's just like, oh yeah, because you know what? When I think of 2002, I think of American icon Shannon Elizabeth. Exactly who I think of. And then, okay, Hulk being horny is bad. It's not the worst thing in the world, because it's kind of unintentionally funny how much of an idiot he is. And I agree with what Siler said, his wolf cartoon looking face is the creepiest yet the funniest thing I've ever seen in a comic I've read so far on this show. And it's going fine, and the whole thing's where it turns, but I'm still on board. Then the final part of issue 6 happens, and then this next half happens.
Yeah,
and it's all downhill from here now. It's oh boy.
But I still think there are some parts of it that I wouldn't say redeeming, but are interesting.
Yes, but the first 5 issues are great.
I was
issue
just
5 having a shaky ending.
At Shannon Elizabeth, I was like, oh, wonder what she's done recently. And taking away the Jay and Silent Bob movie, that was her first thing in 3 years. And then it's all pretty much made for TV movies since like
Hallmark shit.
Yeah, since the last American Reunion, which was in 2012.
Oh, she was also on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
but you know what? I gotta say, she still looks beautiful.
Oh yeah,
Oh boy, she was on Celebrity Big Brother in 2018.
I've heard the name Big Brother. Like I know that show. I don't even understand.
It's a bunch of people living in a house together and shenanigans happen. That's it. That's the show.
So it's the real world.
Yeah, but it's a little more like exaggerated than the real world.
Okay.
Like it's way more like they know what they're doing, and it's just like let's pick the worst kind of people we can find.
Oh, see, that's what if you might be too young to remember Celebrity Rehab or.
I remember Celebrity Rehab. Or
what was the other Sober House?
Sober House, or the real life Celebrity Boot Camp.
Yeah.
Or Fit Club.
We are spiraling into stuff because we don't want to talk about this terrible comic. So let's talk about issue 7, which is not a whole lot going on. We get Cap giving a speech at a church as basically a memoriam to everyone who died in New York, which I didn't even think about until this issue that they kind of did this in that Hulk movie with Ed Norton.
They also pushed him out of the helicopter in the Hulk.
Hulk destroyed Harlem.
Well, I remember that. I mean, like, I don't remember like a memorial service.
Oh no, not a memorial, but I mean like him destroy, like the Hulk being blamed kind of for the destruction of New York.
I think also a lot of this iconography is like very trying to invoke like the 9/11.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that beforehand. It's not even like it just is like it's not trying.
To be fair though, in the movie, Hulk only destroyed one part of New York, not the entirety of New York.
Yes. Which again, they do the bit from. I think they do it in the coming issues. They take that bit in that movie, but we also get with this. Janet's being taken away, and she's like almost dying, and then we have the discussion with a doctor talking to Banner, and he's like, "Oh, see, the problem is like the Hulk thing hasn't come out of you," and he's like, "Oh, is it true I've murdered 300 people?" And it's like, "Well, we're still kind of like." Dealing with the final numbers, but that's okay.
Well, it's not just like it's coming out of you. It's like we think you have a permanent bond now with the Hulk serum.
And then he's like, yeah, and then he said like you and the Hulk are not connected. And he's like, wait, are you serious? Like, what's happening? And then he's like, well, I don't want you. Like, I want like a real scientist. Like, where's Pym? Like, I want him to do it. And they're like, well, speaking of him, we have no idea where he went.
You're like, man, you thought you fucked up? Well, let me tell you about Pym.
No, guy just cracks a beer open. Like, all right, let me tell you how someone worse fucked up more than you.
Yeah.
It's literally like the Hulk did some stuff, and then Hank Pym was like, "Hold my beer."
Well, he had to put down the beer to pick up the bug spray.
Oh,
but I do like
Hank Pym, hold my beer.
Yeah, we get like a bunch of Betty Ross, and it's like, and Fury's like, do you ever just turn it off? It's like, no, like I don't. That's kind of my job. And then we get this weird beginning, because I do remember it evolving later on down the line of like, Steve only hangs out with Bucky and his ex.
It's kind of weird because Bucky's like, hey, remember, I stole your ex because you were in the ash.
Yeah. So then we cut to the hospital.
Like also, you know, we give that one guy like a lot of flack nowadays for being someone who basically just uses like traces like photos of people and then puts them into his book. Like, who am I thinking about right now?
Alex Ross?
No, it's
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I just saw like somebody posted a video about it. Yeah, he takes like magazine stuff.
It's not like Greg Horn. He did the Ultimate Fantastic Four zombie stuff.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Greg Land. And the only reason I bring this up, I'm like looking through this book, and there's just like a lot of face reactions in this book that just don't line up with the dialogue very well, or it's just very dead-eyed.
Oh yeah, especially on Bucky and Gale.
Yeah, like I'm looking specifically on page 12 up top.
Is it like the two shot of Bucky and Gale?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's like, why are they smiling?
No, that's a weird one. And then
and then like there was a lot of this during like the conversation with Banner and the government stooge.
Yeah, like weird. Yeah, when Banner's pointing like really big. The other thing is I think one of the problems that this has, and maybe this is just me, But the way this conversation between Bucky, Gale, and Steve is going, and like the way they have her smiling, and she goes, "You're looking good anyway, Steve," is like, are these old people trying to have like a thing with like young Captain America guy?
I mean,
Like,
if you're like, if you
look
were
at you look
to-
at Bucky's face. He's like, "Oh, what's happening?"
I think he's like, oh, but he's smiling in the previous panel, so he's like, yeah, I'll just sit in the chair. I just want to watch.
So Bucky's a cuck, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, Cucky.
His name is Cucky. Ah, damn, he beat me to it. He beat me to it.
Cucky the Winter Soldier.
The Hinter Soldier.
But going from that to what we get into the next page, which is basically they'll be like, oh, like Betty and it's Betty, Stark, and Fury. They're like, what the hell happened? It's like she's in anaphylactic shock. We have no idea. She's covered in these bites, and like, what are those bites? And they're like, well, we think they're ant bites. And Betty's like, but ants are tiny. And it's like, well, she was probably really small. And they're like, what the hell? Even like,
Oh, by the way, before we get into this, can we like talk about how Gale was like, it's nice to see them watching somebody decent for a change after Spider-Man or one of those horrible X-Men?
oh, well, that's like a running thing. And like, I like the way they treat mutants in this, which I forgot.
Oh,
It's like mutants are like really shit on in the Ultimate Universe.
They're like
I
black
know.
people.
I know,
Yeah.
I get it, but it's like at the same time, it's just like so weird to see like.
But I think this is like
people
their
are supposed
version
to
of Jay Jonah was like a Fox News guy. So like
Yes.
I think, which is funny because they're still doing like I actually like the idea in the movies now even more. But yeah, it's like, oh, like these old people would think that like, yeah, because they're from like the 40s, like they would be horrible racists.
Which I think is also the problem with Ultimate Captain America at the end of the day.
Yes, he doesn't start off as bad as he gets. Like he gets real
Yeah.
bad.
He gets pretty bad.
But yeah, basically, like they're like, oh, like what is this? It's like, well, this is pretty obviously like domestic violence, and then we have like all the reporters come in, like, oh, what do we do now? It's like, well, we have to get her back to base and get her away from these vultures, and then we get Betty, Steve, and Tony talking, and this is where it's revealed that Betty and Janet were college roommates, which is like tying them all together even more, and basically saying that they had these kind of fist fights in the past. Or because like was it Tony asked he hit her before, and he's like, I swore I wouldn't talk about this, but yes, we were sharing a room, and he put her head through the bathroom door, and like Cap's just silent. And he's like, basically, it's like this weird conversation. Like, I actually don't think it's written too terribly. Like, it's really realistic, and like how she's like, they didn't want me to tell anybody. I didn't know what to do, and they had this kind of relationship, and she was always this mixed up girl. It's like it's kind of like horrible how real world this feels, but not in like a bad writing sense.
But like also doesn't a lot of, okay, like I understand that it's like one of those things where domestic abuse happens, you know, a lot between couples that look happy on the outside. But like doesn't it seem like very weird that this is a book that never even like tried planting any seeds for that, and it just feels like there's this
It just
very
happens.
drastic tonal shift.
Yeah.
Within the last two issues, Hank Pym is like super abusive, and like they're both alcoholics, and like all this other stuff. It just seems very odd.
Oh, it is odd. And then we cut. They're distracted because reports are coming in that it was Pym that did it. And so like, well, shit. Now it's everybody's business. And then we get Thor is just floating outside, and this is where we get introduced to Ultimate Black Widow and Ultimate Hawkeye. They're like gearing up. And kind of when Thor comes in, it's like, oh, I was fighting the Midgar Serpent. And he's like, wait, you're just outside. And then we end on Cap using SHIELD spy satellites to find Hank Pym and saying, intensify, intensify, intensify. And finds him like at the Red Lion pub, and he's like, I need a helicopter. So that's where issue 7 ends, which it's kind of like issue 1, it's kind of just like setting up for the world. So like the Hulk and Banner are separate in the it's weird, like Pym kind of taking the heat. Issue 8 is where we get the Hawkeye and Black Widow, which I'm not a fan of this original design of Hawkeye. Also, this is very post-Matrixy with their black on black trench coats. But this is where we get the
Hawkeye looks just like the main character from Wanted.
Oh, yeah, he's got earrings in both ears, the shaved head, and sunglasses.
He just looks stupid.
Like, he looks less Eminem-y, but like if Eminem shaved his hair, he would look just like that. And the reason I would bring up Eminem because for people who don't know, the main character of Wanted is designed to look just like Eminem.
I think they tried getting him for the movie.
Man, that would have been bad. But I don't know. Wanted's a bad movie, anyways.
It's a bad fun movie. With
Yeah,
Chris, like that movie has like strangely like an insane cast before they were famous. Like,
I only remember
it's got Professor X and it has
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt's in it.
I remember Morgan Freeman saying, "Shoot that motherfucker," and I also remember the Loom of Fate.
Yeah, well, it has nothing. It like doesn't take.
us.
Yeah, it's made by a guy who did like a bunch of. He was a Russian director, and the guy with the rats is like from his movie.
Oh no, the guy who's directing it is planning on making the first vertical-looking movie, like how it looks on like your cell phone when you're watching a video.
Oh, why? God, why?
He also made He also made or produced no. Besides that, Unfriended, the movie that like takes place entirely through a computer, which isn't a bad horror.
No,
that's not a bad movie. I like that movie.
I mean, I haven't seen it. I saw the YMS review of that.
He also produced that movie Searching with John Cho, which is supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, that like his wife is missing or something.
His daughter's missing. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, this is where we get the introduction to something that heretofore it had never been mentioned in any of the issues, which is basically Shield, Hawk, and Black Widow go in and just start fucking murdering like civilians, and they don't really explain anything until like halfway through the issue, while they're just murdering this entire office building full of people that these are not humans. And a floor gets blown up, and they're like, "Holy shit, what's going on?" And there's still people alive, and then we do get a couple of little character building stuff. So Hawkeye's just a dude compared to Black Widow, who has like a bunch of biotics they have in her, I think they say. So she can move faster, she can jump higher. She's the bionic Black Widow. But she has, it's actually a cool action set piece, but like where a guy chucks the rifle out of the window, she jumps from one building, catches it, jumps to the other, and shoots these people. And saves Hawkeye, and then we get back to our Shield headquarters, and this is where we get introduced to well, if you haven't been reading the Ultimate X-Men, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch joining the team, which I do like the bit that they run with, although their again with the faces, like Quicksilver's face is so weird. But I like the bit of he's like, well, if you slow down the videotapes, you can see I saved your lives on 3 separate occasions.
Jokes.
Yeah, but basically, like, this is when we're like, all right, time for some info dumping here. And they literally, like, play a video for them of, like, the Nazis. And it's like, oh, all this stuff was done by this alien group called the Chitauri and all this stuff. And they can shapeshift. And because they basically, I actually wonder why they did not call them Skrulls and they went with Chitauri. Because they basically are Skrulls.
Time they didn't have. Was this the period when they didn't have the rights? The same with the movie, but they didn't use the Skrulls.
They always had the rights to the Skrulls. They just didn't have the rights to Super Skrull.
The Skrulls could have also been used at the time in Ultimate Fantastic Four, and they didn't want to confuse the two.
Maybe. So we get all this bullshit happening, and then Fury brings them to a back room where we see a partially transformed Chitauri, which looks all sorts of fucked up.
Oh, that looks like the Predator.
Yeah, it does kind of.
The original Predator for people not playing along.
Yes. And then they're like, well, where the hell is Cap? And so we cut to Cap, who shows up at the Red Lion. What does it say he is? Is he in Chicago?
Yeah, he's in Chicago.
And they're like, oh, who gave him that? Like, oh, you did. And he walks into the bar. And he says, "Can I have a word with you, Dr. Pym?" while wearing a army jacket over his Captain America uniform. And that is issue 8.
Next issue is just
Yeah, so the next
Justice.
issue, we pick up right where it lets off, and Hank's like, "You don't understand, like, all this stuff," and Cap is just like, outside now, you piece of garbage. And
Dude,
it's
he calls him. He doesn't call him that. He calls him meatball.
Yeah, no, first he says, "You piece of trash," and then he says, "I said outside, meatball." Yes.
We're on
And then
issue
he's-
9, right?
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Grow bigger." It's like, God's sakes, I'm on antidepressants. I'm like, wow, like, really? Like, this, I forgot, like, this is a time period when, like, taking, like, medication for mental health is, like, a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's. Well, I almost feel like Mark Millar like kind of threw out that line to make him like how can I make this guy even like
Shittier.
more pathetic?
Which
Oh,
they
like, let's-
did show it, I think, in the first issue, like, a bottle of antidepressants.
Yeah, but I mean, like, and that's why he's pathetic because
Yeah.
he's not like Cap.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Oh, you're out of your mind. Like, you're not John Wayne. You're going to get us both arrested." And then Cap is just bitch slapping him. And it's like, "Change before I knock your teeth down your throat." And then he does change. And then this image of Hank is just like pure insanity.
Yeah,
And Cap smiles, looks up and smiles at him. He's like, "What's the matter?" He's like, "You," and he ran away. But no, he ran upstairs, jumps, grabs onto, I don't even understand. He like somehow flips over and judo tosses giant Hank Pym.
he like
And then,
he like grabs him by the face and pulls him down. It's like a horse collar. He like
yeah, he kind of like, yeah, he flips him like, and he pulls him over like a fence and drops him into a very conveniently placed site that they're building, and he falls, and there's like shit, like a bunch of stuff, and Hank's like, "I'm gonna bash your brains out." And Cap is just beating the ever-loving shit out of, again, also, Hank is naked during this entire time.
because they always are.
Yeah.
Because
And
Mark Millar loves his naked people.
Cap throws some sort of a blade and cuts down a whole bunch of pipes, which smash Hank Pym. And basically is like, "How do you feel now, you dirtbag?" And then S.H.I.E.L.D. comes up and arrests him. And then we cut to Banner, which this is like, I think, a scene I talked about last time where it's like, him and Betty are talking. He's like, "Oh, Cap broke Hank Pym's jaw. Are you serious? Like, that's hilarious." And they're kind of talking, and it's like,
I thought that was funny.
yeah. And it's just like they're talking and they're kind of talking shit, and it's like, "Oh, you have to trouble." Like, I kind of hope they might draw the line at wife beaters, and she's like, says Mr. Hulk smash in there.
I do not understand this relationship between him and Betty.
No, it gets like really creepy and weird because it's like, because I think
I
it's
can't
at
tell
the-
if they hate each other or want to take off their clothes and fuck each other.
Oh,
Hulk
it's
smash.
definitely the latter. Like, she doesn't, like, they have a very weird relationship where, like, I think she loves him for all of his issues, but he's also like a little bitch boy. So the idea of the Hulk inside of him when he hulks out also turns her on, because it's like she gets to
That's
have
weird.
her smart genius boyfriend and like the super aggro dude. I can't remember what she says, something else like, "Oh, like, where did they get all this stuff from?" Because they're talking about like the Chitauri, and it's like, "Oh, apparently they spent a great deal of time in the sack," or something like that. Like, there's lots of weird sex talk, and it gets weirder later on. Then we jump to the Stark stuff, which I feel like nothing is really going on except he's drinking. And then we get the weird scene with Cap visiting Janet, and he brings her a bottle of Coke, and he's like, basically like, "Oh, don't worry, like, I beat the shit out of Hank." And she's like, "Okay, like, you're making this even worse. Like, I'm already super humiliated." And part of this, again, is like, it's not written terribly. It's written like brutally realistic in some way. Like, her reaction, like, of kind of defending herself and like self-hate kind of thing, with like how she tells him to leave and then she's crying. But then it gets like way fucking dumber as we go into the assault team. Was it's Thor with leaves to go check out this island, and it's Cap, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Fury. And Cap looks so fucking dumb with the helmet on. And that's the end of 9. I don't know, was there anything else in that issue you guys want to talk about?
Man, like, not really.
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to go like as quick
Okay,
as
so
you can, 'cause fuck this
we're
stuff.
at we're issue 10 right now, and there's 3 more issues, and it's like, what is this building towards?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the thing is, like, we didn't even know about the Chitauri in till that issue or the issue
Yeah.
before, and then we get issue 10 starts with a flashback. It's like, oh, why didn't you start the series with this? Because it's Cap against the Nazis, and you find out who they are. It's like, oh, you're trying to rob a train. It's like, no, it wasn't. And so they blow up the train in the bridge, and there's like a good line of like, oh, tell Hitler thanks for always having the trains run on time or something. And yeah, and basically it shows like, oh, there's all this stuff, and then he goes into like a meeting because this is still in the past, right? This other part.
Yeah, he's still
Yeah, it's like a
meeting with
year
them.
later, and it's like, oh, basically, it's like this is the reveal that like higher ups in the government know that the Nazis are working with these aliens, and then we cut to present day, and they're going to assault like the entire Shield armada is going to assault this island, and then we have like Janet's like, oh, looking around, she's like, can I get something to drink? And like feeling dehydrated, and there's like no one in the hospital except for 4 people. And then we see the guy with the gun, and she's like, oh, this is really weird. And then she sees like, here's something happened, and then like the guy behind them is gone, and then she shrinks. The woman in front of her gets shot, and then we see that they're all Chitauri yelling, shoot her, and we get once again tiny naked Janet running around and hiding.
Now, I have a question because they mentioned this later, and I might be skipping ahead. But are they Chitauri? I've also heard them call themselves Kree.
I think they're Chitauri. The Kree do end up showing up in one of the books, not in Ultimates. I can't remember which one it is.
Okay, because I thought they said
do-
we go by many names or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember where it is. If we get to it, we could. Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know, because they shapeshift to everybody. So we get to this island and no one's there. Iron Man's like, "What the shit? No one's here. Like, what's going on?" And basically, we find out at the same time they're not there. They're at the Triskelion, and Janet gets on the thing and is basically like, "Get out of there now. They're not there. They're all here." And they're getting static, and then Cap yells, "Tony," and then the whole island explodes in nuclear fury.
Ha, Fury.
Yes, and basically, like, I think another part they like showed that like Shield has a side division for psychics, and like that's where they infiltrated, and she has nowhere to go. And then we get like the Nazi guy from the beginning of the issue is there.
And then, but it's like you like turn the page, and he's like there. It's like
Yeah, it's a full page of
That
just
face
the
looks like Robert Carlyle, but weirder.
he looks like he looks like William Dafoe.
Yeah, he does look like Will. I think he looks like Willem Dafoe.
I think he looks like you guys know who Robert Carlyle is?
Not offhand.
If you look him up, he looks a lot like him. He was in the Full Monty Train Spotting.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Like this looks a lot like him.
Oh, yeah, that's what's his name from 28 Weeks Later and
Yes.
shit. What's that terrible show that was on ABC? Once Upon a Time.
Hey, I'm kind of watching that right now. I don't hate it, but
The first several seasons are not bad, and then the entire cast leaves, I think, at one point.
they
Like
leave
the
after season 6, and then season
Yeah.
7 is apparently should never have happened.
Yeah, it's really bad. But yeah, he's a good actor. It kind of looks like him. So issue 11 opens. The Chitauri have taken over the Triskelion. Janet's like just in this room, and head Nazi guy just like pushes the door, like blasts it open. She shrinks, but he catches her, and then again she's tiny and naked, and they're doing like very weird shadowing, but showing her entire body. And then he shoves her into a jar and hands it to somebody to hold. Oh no, which comes back later. And then they're walking through the whole thing, and he has the little bottle with her. And it's like, oh, the Ultimates are going to do it, like, stop you. And he's like, yeah. He basically says, like, to her, like, oh, the only way we can change shape is if we eat people.
So I found out what exactly I was talking about. It was on page 106. This is in the trade that collects all the issues.
Okay.
It says, we were dubbed Chitauri by the Africans and both Anakiwi or Skrull by the countless other species we've sought to harmonize over the years.
Oh, so I guess they were the ultimate version of the Skrull?
That's what I'm wondering.
I feel like they brought the Skrulls in later on. So this is early, so like they don't know what they're going to do. because they are basically the Skrulls.
Yeah, they're like the Skrulls. That's what I'm thinking.
And then he basically reveals that, like, yeah, in order to change, we have to eat. So he's planning to eat Janet. And then he's like, yeah, it's going to be interesting being a woman this time.
Yeah, well, she doesn't get eaten here, but guess what? Give it a couple of years, you guys.
And then they show up with their ships, which are giant triangles all over the world. And basically everybody's like, what the hell? They look... I'm trying to figure out, like, what would you say their ships look like? Like, they do remind me of another movie, but I can't put my finger on it.
The ships?
Yeah, the spaceships they have.
Not Independence Day.
No, they're more streamlined than that.
They're the triangle? Oh, I see what you're looking at.
Yeah, like the big spread page one. I feel like they kind of remind me of, like, Arrival.
Yeah, that's it. It's either it's definitely Arrival. That definitely, like, if you turn it on, it's like upward where it's vertical facing.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looks like the Arrival ship.
Yeah, they're basically like, oh, it's like, oh, like, because everybody knows about us, like, I can't remember, something happens and they're like, oh shit, we're not gonna be able to take over. Like, they get orders from above. They're like, oh, the people who are chasing them chase them there. So they're like, oh crap, we can't, like, take over this planet. Fighting, one of, like, whoever was fighting them is chasing there. So they're just gonna basically erase the planet Earth and like bounce. And so he's all sad and they're like, gonna do this, and they're like, oh, what's going on? Like, something's happening. There's something we need to speak to you about, and like the bomb's going off in 45 minutes, and they're like, they're analyzing pictures over Micronesia, and there's some kind of anomaly that's 500-meter wide, and then we get the lightning strike, and then he drops the bottle with Janet, and Thor and the Ultimate show up, and basically says,
they're not dead after all.
Yeah. And they start wrecking shit. And this is kind of similar to what we get in the Avengers movie of, like,
but it's on a much bigger scale than what the Avengers battle's big, but like...
Yeah, well, they're, like, that was in New York. I'm trying to, like, do they even show... Because they're on an Air Force base here, aren't they? Or are they... Because they're not on the Triskelion.
No.
Yes, but, like, it's much more spaceships. It's spaceships as opposed to, like, those giant whale things. With Iron Man and Thor in the sky... Cap gets into he finds a fighter jet, and that's where we end issue 11.
Well, I was gonna say not even I don't know if I'm on 11 or 12, but I was gonna say he finds like the German guy from years ago and basically burns his ass up.
Yeah, I think that's in the next one. Yeah, so issue 12 opens up with Thor's in the sky. He's talking to the German guy. Cap's in a fighter jet. And he flies the jet into him. I can't remember what the character's name is. It's like Krause or something. And then he gets out of
it's Eric Kaiser or something.
Kaiser, yeah. And he's naked, which will come into play. And so Cap and naked Kaiser are fighting.
Because all of them are always naked.
Yeah. And
all the characters at any given time are going to be always naked.
Yeah, he actually hurts Cap's arm, and he's like beating the crap out of Cap. They're kind of fighting back and forth. And he's like, I'm gonna bash your brains in. Black Widow finds Janet, who now has clothes on, which is good. And they're like, oh, what's going on?
No,
yeah. And Janet's like, oh, they have a doomsday weapon. We have to figure out how to deal with this. And basically Hawkeye's yelling at Iron Man, it's like, you idiot, like, you're like dropping these things on us. Which then I do like where Thor's like, Tony, lose altitude now. I'm going to do this. I don't want you to get singed. And Thor just basically explodes with lightning. It takes out almost their entire fleet of ships. And he continues doing that.
Wait, what? There was a really great moment where someone, who was it? It was somebody. I know that's later. Never mind. That's a later story.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So Cap is fighting the Nazi guy, and then a gun appears and says, "Eat this, motherfucker." And then we see the guns being held by nothing. And it's like, oh, like that's not going to stop me, Fury. And so Fury has like this camo thing, like I can see through it. Iron Man's trying to stop one of the ships from hitting the city, which he redirects it, but he's all jacked up. Which I do kind of like this scene where his suit is dead, and they're like, well, what do we do? And then he's just like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just a guy. Like, it's like the army guy's like, if you're not going to do it, who will? And he looks at the crowd and like, all right, bring me over to that thing over there and tell the city to put all of its power in to reboot his suit. Which it is goofy, and I get why you hate it. I just think they went for like something very different. and trying to make it look more real world. But I do think
like
it
the
looks really
whole
wonky.
him going to like stop a ship from going into the city is kind of reminiscent of what happened in the first Avengers.
Yeah. And so then we got to Janet and Black Widow are trying to stop the super weapon.
Wait. So, Iron Man's suit turns back on and he flies away, right?
Yep.
And like this kid.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
Gives like a thumbs up, and Iron Man gives him a thumbs up, flies away, and these two army guys just push him over.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
so unnecessary.
Listen. In the wise words, fuck them kids.
And I'm just like, are these Chitauri? Are these bad guys also? Like, why would these guys, after like do this big heroic thing for Iron Man, be like, well, better him than us, and then knock over this kid?
Yeah, it's just such a weird panel.
It's so weird.
Yeah, then Black Widow and Janet break in. They're like, how do we stop this thing? It's like, you can't. And they're just like looking at this thing. We're like, we need Tony in here because like we don't know what the hell we're looking at. And then Cap and Fury are getting beaten by a naked man. And Cap like takes his shield and kind of cuts him in half. And this is where we get the full page of the most famous line from this comic. Who would like to read it?
Can I read it?
Sure.
Okay. Hang on. Wait a second. Hang on. Surrender? Surrender? You think this letter on my head stands for France?
Oh, God. Yeah, so then he rips...
Fuck that.
To be fair, he was like in World War II when like France surrendered, so that would still be like fresh in his mind.
But like, but the French were like allies. It's like he fought with the French.
Historically, it's like a little.
I'm pretty sure the French are at least a part of the Howling Commandos.
Yes. So he takes his shield out, and then this is where we get like.
I will also say, like, this also a couple years later was parodied in Next Wave, in the best way possible, where Elsa Bloodstone is wearing a shirt the whole entire issue with the EU flag on it. And like people proceed to like kind of like Boom Boom and Machine Man proceed to like make fun of her shirt for the entire issue. And there's a big point where like they do like the whole surrender thing, and then she points to her shirt and she's like, "Do you think the letter on my chest stands for America?" And it's like fucking great. And that's why Warren Ellis will forever always be a better writer than Mark Millar.
Oh.
But yeah, this is where we get a scene that they take directly and put into the Ed Norton Hulk movie, which Cap is like, all right, our first three, the initiatives are dead. We have to go for the nuclear option. It's like, sorry, Cap, not reading it. It's like, you have permission to traumatize Banner. And so they're trying to get him. They're beating the shit out of him. He's like, you don't get it. Like, I'm on a bunch of different,
suppressants and sedatives.
I'm on drugs. So many drugs.
He's like, I can't turn into it if you pay me $1 million. And they're like, you hear that? And he's like, yeah, plan B. I'll take full responsibility. And they chuck him. He's in a straitjacket, and they chuck him out of the window. And he just yells no. And then that is the end of 12. So 13, which is the final issue of Ultimates, is right there. And he's like, oh my God. And basically it's like the mail has been delivered. All units fall back. And Banner has a lot of time to say, no, you crazy son of a... And then hits a thing. And this is, again, like another thing. It's like, oh, that was a hell of a thud for a 70-pound biologist. Which I think is what... Because it's not Fury, it's General Ross says, I think, in the movie. And so we get...
that's right.
Hulk comes out. He's gigantic. And Cap says, Nick, get out of here. I know what to do. And it's like, oh, noble to the last end. And Cap, like, shoves Nick aside. He's like, I got this covered. And Hulk comes in and attacks Cap. It's like, Blue Man. And it's like, and Cap does. He's like, Hulk, you don't understand. Listen to me. This is about your girlfriend. And Hulk's like, don't you talk about her. It's like, no, you don't understand. That naked guy over there was all over Betty the whole time you've been in solitary. Which I do think that this idea of like how to deal with the Hulk is funny and works.
It also happened in Stupor. Just Frieza. He killed your father.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
He killed your father.
It is very Broly like. But yeah, they have this like the two of them have this giant fight. No, and he's like, no, Naked Guy's the stupid one here. Naked Guy and made Hulk angry. Then we have Janet and Black Widow. They're like, what the hell are we gonna do? It's like, and Iron Man's like, all right, hold on, I'm coming. And then all the Air Force people show up to help Thor. And then we cut back to the awesomeness of Hulk just yelling, shut up, shut up. Naked Guy talks too much. And he's just like almost like a pasty goo. It's like, oh, congratulations, you are in order. And then he rips his head off.
Okay, we haven't gotten to the one panel. Connor asked us specifically to talk about a panel, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
Oh, I know what panel you're talking about.
Yep.
Okay. And so like reinforcements come in and then Cap goes on. Hulk is eating the guy. And then Cap gets on the speaker and it's like, you see all these orange space, you see all these spacecrafts? They say they're calling you a sissy boy. But
and then Hulk goes, Hulk not sissy boy, Hulk straight. Which is one of the most perplexing lines I've ever heard come out of a character.
God, this sucks. This issue sucks.
It's also so weird. Like there's so many things weird about the Hulk because his hair doesn't match Banner's hair. His teeth are all like fucked up in this.
He's this is like Mark. I would look at this like Mark Millar. What are you doing?
I do love that. Like what ends up happening. So Tony shows up. He grabs the bomb thing, and it's like, all right. He's like, I don't have much time left. All right, I'm gonna go. And they're like, oh, thank you, Tony, like for making the sacrifice. He's like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Like, aren't you flying this thing into space? You're like, of course, giving up your life for the rest of us. He's like, no, don't be ridiculous. I'm dragging this thing out of here. That's not why I'm dragging it out of here. It's like, you said you had a plan. It's like, yeah. And then you Thor to use his magic hammer to teleport it away.
I love how Natasha's just like, you're crazy. Thor's like, I got this. And then he does
You're going to give this to the mental patient?
And then this was what I was talking about before, where Hulk was like,
oh, yeah, I think it's in a little bit, because, yeah, Thor comes in, and he's like, oh, ye of little faith. And then Thor does teleport it, and they're like, where did it go? He's like, where'd you send it to? Nebraska, Canada? That doesn't matter. He's like, nope, I dropped it in the wastelands of Nostra, and, like, does all this shit, and they're like, all right. It's like, we'll probably feel something for, like, a little bit, and there's, like, a little bit of a vibration, it's, like, done to, like, well, I guess he really is a god.
Natasha's just dumbfounded. She's like, wait, I've read the reports. No. Just, no.
Yeah. And then, like, yeah, then Janet looks up and is like, is that Banner up there? And he's just destroying everything. And it's like, yeah, the good, like, we're chasing him down, but everything else is destroyed. He takes out a helicopter, and then Hawkeye shoots him with the arrow of the antidote. And he's like a little man with the arrow, and then Hulk jumps into the helicopter. And Hawkeye's like, no, and he's like crying, he's like shitting his pants, and then turns around and everyone's laughing at him because it's just Banner laying on him passed out. And then we have like the big page where they won, and then Quicksilver and Natasha in a creepy pose, and they're like, oh, if you look back at the thing, if you slow it down, we saved your lives a bunch of times.
Now,
I forgot.
Don't
have they officially said that they're dating at this point?
No. It's not until I think the second Ultimates that like Janet says it's a Cap. Like, oh, it's different than that.
No, that's Ultimates 3.
Okay, well then, yeah, it's not till then that like something, because it's in the X-Men, Wolverine sees them, and that's where it's like revealed. Yeah, it's just very heavily implied. So somebody goes over to Cap. Cap is puking, and he's like, "Give me a second," and then he comes over and they do a salute. And it's like, oh, I guess we're all superheroes now.
This next panel bothers me, specifically at the bottom.
Yeah, that Betty wants to bone Bruce.
Yes.
Sorry, Bruce.
Is he such an alpha male?
Satellite pics of you wolfing down that man's intestines like some kind of animal. And what do you think Fury would let you and I have some kind of conjugal visit anytime soon?
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, their like relationship is so weird. But then when you like in Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine, like she is in love with him. Like they straight up do like make that, and then we get Cap and Fury talking, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And the guy walks out with a glowing like tank like thing. It's like, "Oh, we have like General Fury. That's approximately 43% of the creature's estimated body mass, right on schedule." I was like, "What's that?" It's like, "Oh, the Hulk beat him by chewing on him and digesting him, right? Well, he's a shapeshifter, so we're not sure if that would kill him. So we have to be positive." And Cap's like, "You're kidding me!" And the guy's pissed, like, "Oh, he's serious, Captain. Can't you tell my enormous smile on my face?" So basically, they have to collect the Hulk shit to make sure it's not Kaiser or whatever. And you kind of see it in the next panel, like Hulk shit.
Just Hulk taking a massive dump on the next panel. It's like a 1-page spread.
Yeah,
It's just it's a 2-page spread of just brown.
Yeah. And so like Fury's like, "Oh, you experience closure." And then we get like this weirdness of it's Janet is getting her hair done, and basically her hairstylist is like, "Oh, you're on every magazine." And then we get the creepy call from Hank. He's like, "Don't hang up. I saw what you did. I just wanted to touch base," and blah blah blah. And he's like bullshitting her.
And she's like, "Fuck off."
Yeah. Circumstances like civilized. You don't know the meaning of the word. He's like, "Just give me 2 minutes," and she says goodbye. Hank hangs up. Then we get like this White House thing.
Cap and Janet dance, and they share a kiss.
Yep. And she's just like, "Just keep dancing."
Nick Fury's like, "I thought that guy was never gonna get some."
It's like okay, man.
Yeah. And then Fury walks into the Oval Office, and then we have fireworks, and that's the end. What was the panel that you said Connor wanted to talk about?
I assume Hulk straight.
Yeah, it was Hulk straight.
Oh, it was Hulk straight. Okay. Yeah, Hulk straight is insane. But like, it's so weird because like this kind of like again, it goes like they kind of use this stuff both in the Hulk movie and like using him as like a weapon, like the Cap, like using him in the first Avengers movie is very similar without the shitty dialogue.
Can you imagine if they did like the Avengers with the dialogue of Ultimates?
Oh man, I could imagine like I don't know, like 1995, like Fox doing it, maybe.
Oh, I mean, we kind of already did it with those 2 shitty direct-to-video movies.
Oh, but yeah, like this is just like I don't know, like again, like
this starts off so strong, and then in the middle just shits the bed.
And it's so weird that like this is what the MCU is like. It's very obvious, like it's so heavily influenced by like the MCU is by this like book.
I mean, thank God we got this Scott Lang is a nice person.
Well, yeah, I don't even know if Scott even shows up in the Ultimates.
No, he doesn't. But I'm saying we thank God we got a nicer Ant-Man / Giant Man than
we talked about the last like it's basically like that thing with Hank having been like abused. Janet has always been around, which is why he's like not a main character in the movies. Like they just can't do that.
Yeah.
And with all the retcons they've ever done, they've never retconned that.
What, Hulk straight?
Hank.
Can you imagine Mark Ruffalo yelling that line?
Hulk, not a sissy boy. Hulk straight.
So as some people do know, I one of my favorite comics podcasts is War Rock and Ajax, and they have a monthly segment where they do every story ever, where people send a list of comics and they rank from best to worst. And currently on their list of 1,065 comics, Ultimates is on this list at number 863. Between Wolverine number 32 by Mark Millar and Kara Andrews, where it's set in World War II and Wolverine fights Nazis.
Okay, I don't know why. Like, I never read that, so I don't know why that's
I
bad.
think I've read that. Wasn't Wolverine in like the Howling Commandos, or was that? Am I just imagining that right now?
The synopsis for it: a ghost story in the tradition of creepy and eerie. The standalone issue set in World War II concentration camp and stars a feral character who looks like Wolverine, acts like Wolverine, but who is he really? The head Nazi running the camp is about to find out, or he'll die trying.
Oh no!
Ultimates Volume 1 is above Spider-Man Identity Crisis, which I do not agree with because I like this story, and it's the one where Spider-Man is framed for murder by Norman Osborn and the Trapster for this crook, and Spider-Man makes 4 different identities to like figure out like who the real killer is, and he makes the Hornet, Prodigy, Dusk, and Ricochet, and spinning out of this, like they were actual heroes who became Prodigy and Ricochet and the Hornet. and I love Ricochet, so I do not agree with this. But
The funny thing is, I am going to torture myself and read the Ultimates 2 and 3 eventually because Hoopla has them, but
because spoilers, Ultimates Volume 2 is at 968,
oh no.
and Ultimates 3 is at 1025.
Oh no. Now, I was telling Lou about this before we started. I just realized there is a reboot of the Ultimates that exists from like 09.
Yeah, that book. Okay, yeah, that book's rad.
Is it really?
It's really rad. It's by Al Ewing. To put it into context, those 2 volumes are also on this list, and the Ultimates is at 125, and Ultimates 2 is at 151.
From the 2009 lineup.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah, the Ultimates is fucking rad. The first arc, so the entire idea of the Ultimates is that they're like the ultimate problem solvers, that they basically solve problems before they happen. So the first arc is they go to Galactus, and Galactus, is doing things like, I hunger. They're like, yeah, we know you hunger. How can we help you? Like, and they basically like help Galactus to where he no longer hungers.
That's amazing. Okay, I need to read this.
It's such a cool book.
But is it still like it's
it's set in like the Marvel universe.
Okay, so it's a reboot of the name but not of the concept.
Yeah, I want to say it's post Secret Wars.
Yeah, because I just opened it and it has like America Chavez, Blue Marvel,
Captain Marvel,
Monica Rambeau, and Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like it's a separate thing. They're just reusing the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like I stopped reading the Ultimates when Ultimatum is when Magneto flips the poles.
Yeah,
I think that's like when I stopped reading. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Ultimatum fucking killed. It's like if you ever want to see a comic that's so disastrous it kills an entire line, it's Ultimatum. Like that's I joked about it a couple times throughout the last 2 episodes. That's the issue, or that's a series where Janet gets eaten by the Blob, and that's why it's like so funny that there's like even a joke about a character eating her in that series because she gets eaten later. God, fuck Ultimatum.
In Marvel Zombies, Janet eats the Blob.
I'm guaranteed that they did that on purpose.
They absolutely did that on purpose.
She shrinks down so she can eat him longer.
Oh God.
Which is funny because I forgot about Marvel Zombies until like DC did like a new side. I guess they're doing like a spin-off of Deceased, and it's like, oh, it's all the characters on Earth who can't be affected by the thing, and it's like the main character that they start off with is Deathstroke, and it's like, oh, his healing factor is so strong it like overrides the thing.
Oh, is that what that Unkillables book was about?
Yeah. So it's like characters that like can't be. So it's him and Rose. It's like a team of villains. It's like him, Rose, the Creeper, Solomon Grundy, Vandal Savage. I'm trying to think who else was in it. It's like all characters that can't really be killed.
Well, to be fair, Grundy's already a zombie.
Yeah. And then the side story is it's Jason Todd, Jim Gordon, and Kate Kane. No, not Kate Kane. Cassandra Kane are like the only good guys left on Earth. And although I do like what Jason does because he finds the Joker's corpse and ties it to the front of the Batmobile and just drives into shit with it. And he's just pissed. He's like, it should have been me that killed him.
That's really funny.
All right, it is late. Let us wrap up.
Do we want to mention what we're doing next week since we kind of decided on it?
Yeah, I would say so. We are doing. I don't remember what the name of the arc is.
Well, basically, what we're doing is we're doing My Hero Academia in order to tie in with the movie, as we mentioned, is coming out next week. We figured it'd be fun to step away from the big two and focus on the other side with manga and anime.
Yeah, it's like USJA arc.
It's like the first big arc in the storyline.
Yeah, where they go. It's where they go to the separate training center.
It's where the League of Villains first shows up.
Yes. So we're going to talk about both the manga and the anime, which if you haven't seen or read it, it's very good. It's very like I don't even know how to describe. It's like a anime Japanese version of superheroes.
It's a really inventive on what they do with superheroes and how they establish this world of heroes.
Yeah, it's
for people who like also you can read My Hero Academia on the Shonen Jump app. I have the Shonen Jump app. It's like $3 a month. I've been reading One Piece through it. But the arc that we'll be reading is going to be chapters 12 through 21.
Yeah, and then the whole show is on Hulu, like I said earlier.
And Funimation, if you have that as well.
And Crunchyroll. So yeah, we have that. So quick round of plugs, I guess. Listen to all the other shows, leave 5 stars, tell a friend, follow everybody in the Phantom Zone group. Does everybody want to give their Instagrams, I guess?
You can follow me at John_FN_Seiler, SEILER on Twitter, Instagram, same handle.
I'm on Twitter at JMScott193. I don't have an Instagram, so there's that.
All right. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I guess I'll join the Great Lakes of